See how much this works. Now we're live. Let me see if I can comment section. If I can comment something now. Live chat. Hmm, I don't know if I have the option to pin anything, but it is in the description. Um, it normally takes YouTube right around 20 or 30, 20 seconds to like you go from 0 to 40. And if see
Okay.
it's been 30 seconds and it's just one of one. So I'm wondering, but we got did you like because this is did you just like
Nope.
okay, so okay, I think people are joining us. It's not showing me everything, but we got more likes than we have viewers, which tells me that the viewers for whatever reason are freezing. See, 29. What's going
Yes.
on? Love, love, love. How y'all
There we
doing?
are.
Thank you, Kiwi. I appreciate the like. Love, love, love. Deeper consciousness, love. Um,
Mm.
just letting everybody file in. If you're watching, this is two things. First, this is me testing YouTube's new feature, Go Live Together. I think that's what it's called, Go Live Together. They finally got a dual live feature, and so I wanted to see how that worked. Also, I do have a special guest on here, Tyler. He's the owner of Instashred. He's a good friend of mine. We're going to be talking about dating at your best, and sometimes you guys get my perspective on a lot of different things. But sometimes it's good to have another guy come on here and let you know what his experience is and maybe either validate or invalidate what I have to say. But Tyler is actually a fitness expert. He's a certified personal trainer, very experienced, many, many years in the fitness training industry. And so he's very passionate about fitness and just being at your best and overall self improvement. Tyler's in the financial improvement, mental health improvement, fitness improvement. Tyler's a person who just likes to work on himself and help people improve. And so I've known that I've met him in a business aspect a long time ago, and we just stayed connected. So I think this is going to be a very valuable conversation. Thank you for welcoming Tyler. Thank you, Kelly. Y'all be nice to Tyler. He's not a dating person. He's dated. He has a male experience, but he's not a dating guru expert. But
Uh,
I think it's valuable to have this conversation, dating at your best, especially at this point of the year, right? Everybody starts these New Year's resolutions. I have so many clients who tell me what their New Year's resolution is. And I'm going to be honest, you can always guess it. Either they're going to stop smoking, stop drinking, right? Stop letting men get over on them, and they're going to stop what? Being overweight or being in a position where they don't feel like they're at their best. So everybody has a weight goal. I right now I have a weight goal. I'm a New Year's gym invader myself, Tyler. I've been a fitness buff since I was 15. I've been fit since I was 15, and
mhm.
COVID was the start of me not being at my optimal right fitness level, not being impressive at least because I've always been pretty impressive, and I'm pretty regular, but I'm still fit. And because I'm gifted genetically, I look way better than I know I am, right? And so I talk to a lot of clients who are saying that this year they want to get in their best shape. They want to be more confident. That goes along with the mental health thing too. I've been pushing mental health awareness, mental health evolution and growth for the last 2 years on this channel. You all know. And so it's that time. It's New Year's resolution time. Anybody in the comment section, what's your New Year's resolution? I want to know what people's New Year's resolution is because
Yeah, let's hear
I,
them.
I feel like I'm not the only one with the fitness goal, but some of us have smoking goals, drinking goals, relationship goals, family goals. What
Mm.
are your New Year's resolutions? And because for me, dating at your best involves you not necessarily looking at these things as a resolution. I think when we categorize or compartmentalize what we want as New Year's resolutions, it gives us an opportunity to fail and then say, "Well, next year it'll be my resolution. I'll do it next year, right?" And we'll kick the can down the road a year. And too often we never make the change and we never see the different result. So that's the bigger issue for me is that if you do the same things, you get the same results, right? And so
Mm.
um, fitness in particular is a point that I don't like. I remember, and God rest the dead, bless the dead, but Kevin Samuels used to be a little bit hard and harsh with the young ladies who, or the older ladies whomever had whomever had unmet weight goals, right? He'd say very nasty things to them, and we can argue about whether or not it's nice, but there's a lot of truth in some of the things that are expressed by men about preference. And unfortunately, there's this disconnect between what guys want and what women want. And somehow or another, it's always presented as some different thing. I've known a lot of women who didn't like the way they acted, or didn't like the things they did, or didn't like how they presented, their style, or their physique. But when a man points that same thing out, how dare him, right? There's this fight,
Mm,
and there's this resistance to it coming from an outside source. I don't want to be the outside source. I do not want to replace any credit. I don't want to be the accuser. I don't want to be the criticizer. I'm not here to do that. But I'm here to always invoke like a different thought process, right? Again, everybody's saying that their goals are gain, weight loss, weight gain, weight loss. It's always about presenting our best self and actually believing we are who we want to be, right? And that's where confidence, when we talk about confidence, self-esteem, self-concept, confidence is literally really enjoying and really settling into the reality that you are who you want to be. That's where confidence comes from. When you don't think you're who you want to be, you lack confidence, right? And self-esteem, right? Self-esteem is the result of confidence, right? Self-esteem is more long-term. It's not as static. It's evolving. It's evolution is sometimes cyclical. It happens. You have it for a little while when you don't, depending on what season it is. But as far as like this idea that men want to fit women, we hear this argument all the time, and women want to be fit, but somehow or another, when again that's communicated from men to women, it's not taken well. And so again, I don't want to be that voice to tell you, hey, get your ass in the gym and get in shape or any of those things. But what I want to do is provide an opportunity to at least start a conversation where we can be very honest about, yes, men are very visual, and a lot of times women are as visual as men. Many of my clients have expressed to me
yep.
insecurities about their weight, about a lot of different things, but just specifically here, since I got a fitness guy here, like their weight. um, when a man says that, how dare him? He should love her the way he is or she is. But when she's looking in the mirror, she's not feeling it either, and then she's asking him, hey, do I look fat in this dress? That's a disconnect because he's not allowed to agree with you without being
Mm,
a good partner in some ways, right? And I know that a lot of love Argentina, love. Thanks for the comments. I know that a lot of people have had this particular struggle in their relationship, and so I'd like to give people a resource, right? I'm not here to kick anybody while they're down. I can't stand the idea that someone would insult you if they saw an issue in you, but they didn't give you a resolution, some kind of fix, right? For me, it's all about the fix. When I talk about mental health, I offer better help because better help is somewhere you can start. It might not be for everybody, but it's a starting point. You're welcome, Kiwi. I appreciate you. Uh, the starting point, right, to mental health. Every year we set these goals, and then we wonder why the next year we're setting the same goal, and we're no better off than we were last year
mm,
because we didn't apply action and passion to the result we wanted, right? The result we wanted, and so Tyler, when you approach a new client, especially in the new year, right? Because I know as a physical trainer, the best time of year is January 1st. Maybe January 1st through January 7th. And I know because I've been in my whole life, then I call them New Year's gym invaders. No disrespect. Be an invader. I'm an invader right now. But I know for a fact that that's the time as a fitness person that people start trying to take their goals seriously because they're not deflated yet. At what point do you see people normally drop off? Like how often do you see people give up on their goals? Because it's not just fitness. We do this with everything. Fitness is the metaphor at the moment, but we do this with literally everything.
yeah. It's usually 2 to 4 weeks on average.
2 to 4.
No joke. In the first 4 month, or in the first 1 month of someone starting a goal is when they'll usually drop off. And the New Year's is an interesting time because it's just a reason, right? We can
Mhm.
always give ourselves a reason, whether it is our partner or the relationship we want to get into, or what we're seeing in the mirror, or just simply New Year's. It gives us a reason to pursue something. But like you said, you have to apply that passion, that meaning behind it. And so New Year's resolutions, I think, have kind of obtained this falsification because they don't last for a lot of people. Can they last? Absolutely. But for most, it's unfortunately only 2 to 4 weeks.
So, somebody asked you, Tyler, do you recommend fasting for weight loss?
Yeah. I mean, fasting, first off, is has incredible benefits for the body. I mean, autophagy, cell regeneration, the things the body undergoes while fasting are tremendous for your internal health. Obviously, there's a weight loss benefit as well. You're dramatically decreasing your calories. So it does have its place. I wouldn't say you use it more than you need to. There needs to be some knowledge going into it because you're technically malnourishing yourself. But fasting has immense benefits, and I
Mm.
am definitely an advocate.
So, like, that's just it. It's a methodology, right?
Mhm.
To make our goals, whatever they might be. Again, whether they're mental health and better help, or contacting your personal doctor, whether
Mhm.
getting into an addiction counseling program for Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, whether it's behavioral, whether it's going to see somebody, whether it's actually confronting an abuser, right? Like, we have to figure out which methodology we're going to stick to, because that's the only one that's going to work if we're going to be our
Mhm.
best, and not just date as our best selves, but be our best selves and actually attain confidence. I'm so tired of, like, trying to give people the clue to what confidence is and then
Mhm.
being met with rejections, right? Because people are committed to their misunderstandings and they're committed to their limitations. And so,
Mm.
like, every year, January 1st through January 7th, you get a bunch of new signups. I get a bunch of new clients. Hey, this year I'm going to date better. This year I'm going to sleep with less men. Get a boyfriend. Find love. Be smarter. Not take as much shit. Be wiser. I get all of these different resolutions that might be emotional, might be mental, might be energetic, might be spiritual, right? Might be physical. I get all these resolutions, and it's become a time of year where, and I shouldn't say this. Sometimes I'm not looking forward to it because I don't always get the best, right? I get people who are motivated. Motivation is temporary, right? You are
Totally.
inspired. Inspiration
Mhm.
is temporary. Okay. To be motivated and to be inspired doesn't last, which is why people drop off within the first month of their goals, usually the first 2 weeks, right? You have to be committed, right? And the definition of commitment, whether your goal is to have better relationships, be better mentally, get more stable financially, or get in better shape, right? Is to do something, apply action to something, but do so with commitment and diligence, right? Commitment is doing the thing that you promised you were going to do long after the feeling that you promised it in has passed, right? Because you
Ooh.
can be motivated, inspired. You can be really amped up about a thing, and then next day maybe not. Something happens, you hurt your toe, somebody says something stupid to you, you get insulted on Instagram or YouTube, something dumb happens, and then now you're not inspired. You've been pulled from that energy, and what do? Now you just stop, right?
Mm.
You stop. Commitment, again, is literally just following through on that thing that you promised yourself or someone else, right? After that feeling that you promised it in has passed, because it always passes, right? So, like, Tyler, you have this program called Instashred. Now, I've been in Instashred. I really love the program. I think it's extremely complete, and I'm not sure if I've seen too many apps, if any, as comprehensive as it is, and with
Mhm.
all the methodologies that you can employ to get yourself in better shape. So, too often people think the only way to work out or the only way to get in shape is to lift weights or to do cardio or to do this or do that, or they think, well, I'm just going to get my diet together. And then you go on, boom, there's information overload. You're overwhelmed by what the hell possibilities exist. Do I want to go paleo? Do I want to go vegan? Do I want to do this or that? Like, I like Instashred because it actually maps out things for you. And for me, it really is really helpful for me to be able to see and not even have to create the whole plan, but have a plan and have so many different choices of a plan for people who are struggling with the motivation, who are just trying to maintain their energy and motivation. How do you think InstaShred or a program like it, or working with a person like you, can get them over that hump? Because that's what we're all trying to do, is get over the hump that we normally quit. How does InstaShred fix the issue with that in particular and get them over the hump? And we'll talk
Yeah.
about other goals and things of that nature.
Yeah, let's talk about that. First of all, thank you for mentioning that. And your audience is full of so much love. I love the comments flowing through. I feel so warm hearted right now. This is awesome. Uh, I think the biggest thing for most individuals is flexibility and sustainability, right? There's so many ways to achieve a goal, Kevin. And a lot of people will try certain aspects because they just want the weight off or they want to achieve the end result, but they're willing to go to drastic measures to do it without the enjoyment factor. And at the end of the day, we want to enjoy our lives, whether
Right.
it's our relationships or what we're eating or how we're choosing to exercise. And so with Instashred, it takes into account not only where you want to go, but how you want to get there,
Hmm.
right? And so you can lose weight, for example, or build muscle, whatever it is your goal is. Not everyone wants to lose weight, but a lot of people want to lose weight. You
Hmm.
can do CrossFit. You can just do traditional weightlifting. You can go do cardio machines. You can just start walking. All of those have their benefit and they all are effective when done properly
Hmm.
for weight loss,
Hmm.
for example. Same with the eating, fasting is a great example, as we were just talking about. Are there immense benefits to fasting? Does it work for weight loss?
Hmm.
Absolutely. It's been proven time and time again, but it's one tool. There's
Right.
so many ways to get to the end result, and not everyone wants to fast. Some people will try fasting because they saw their friend fast
Right.
and they got results and they try it for themselves and they're really not enjoying it, but they're pushing their way through it because they just want to get that weight off. But hey, you could probably lose that weight in a smarter way while actually doing something that you enjoy. So there's not a one size fits all when it comes to fitness and the type of exercise you're doing and the type of eating you're doing. You got to find out what you're going to enjoy and get there in the most enjoyable way. Does that make
So
sense?
absolutely. But I got so like on your program. I'm sorry, it's a little hot in here. I didn't turn the fan on. On your program, which methodologies does your program touch on and guide people through?
Yeah. So the biggest thing is, how much are you consuming and how much are you expending? So I saw a question come through earlier. Do you count macros? I do, but loosely, because as with anything, you can abuse it and you can go overboard. So some people become obsessed with counting their calories, as I have in my past. My book that I wrote is literally on the turmoil I had to go through, the trial and error of becoming fit, because I went from being unfit to overly fit. I was obsessive and I stopped enjoying
Mm.
family outings and I stopped drinking alcohol and I wouldn't even have a slice of pizza to where I really wasn't enjoying my life.
Right.
Right. And so my methodology is, hey, what do you enjoy? Let's say you don't enjoy exercise at all. Well, I bet there's a way you can enjoy it as much as possible, right? Even if it's just starting with a walk with your favorite friend. Hey, can you call your best friend up and say, hey, are you willing to go for a 30-minute walk with me on Wednesdays on your lunch break? I
Mhm.
think I would enjoy going for a walk much more if I had someone with me that I enjoyed their presence and the conversation that came along with it. There's so many ways to kind of give yourself a positive introduction to exercise or to better eating habits that you may not know about already. And so that's what InstaShred takes into account is like, hey, what are you going to enjoy? And can we instill that habit long term so that we're not only lasting 2 to 4 weeks like a New Year's resolution?
So, Nana Paris has a good question. She said, "Do you use any apps that can count macros for you?"
So say that again.
She said, "Do you use any apps that can count macros for you?"
Yeah, yeah. So with InstaShred, we are huge believers in MyFitnessPal because MyFitnessPal pretty much has every food under the sun. So honestly, we've got it down to where our clients only take about 30 seconds to punch in a meal. 30 seconds. When
Yeah.
you eat, you can look up exactly what you ate, and the app takes into account everything. You don't have to know how many carbs were in that meal or how much protein it has. The app just kind of gives you a loose estimate of, hey, here's where you're at the end of the day in comparison to your goal. And you can loosely follow the guidance and get to where you want to go without doing a bunch of number crunching. So MyFitnessPal is great for that.
Okay, so like, how does your experience? I know we've both dated, right? How
Yeah.
does your experience with your own physical body and like just like the idea of it, your self concept? How has that affected you dating? Because when I started dating, when I was very young, I was really skinny, and so I was self conscious about that, right? And
Mm.
so when I meet women who are self conscious about either not being thick enough or being too thick, like I get it, I can relate to it, right? Because it does
Yeah.
take away from this idea that this person is on my level, that person is.
Mm.
Have you ever have you ever been in a position where you thought, you know what, I would, but I don't know if I'm her type. I'm not necessarily I'm not in my best shape. I'm not presenting well. I don't feel as confident as I need to be to maybe date that particular person because I hear that all the time. I can't tell
Yeah.
you how many times I've been disgusted by these words. Well, I think he's kind of out of my league. I can't stand that shit. Out of my league and every time I meet a person who says that, it's generally physical. It's literally fitness garbage. It's
Yeah.
always fitness garbage, and
Mm,
it's person's mental garbage because they don't feel like how they are is deserving of what they want, which is fine. We all have those doubts. My problem with it is, and why I call it garbage, is because it should be thrown away. It should be dealt with. Right? We should be
yeah.
doing something about it. Just like when I meet people and they say, "Well, I've been sad, I've been depressed, I've been having mood swings, I've been doing this and doing that." I say, "Well, did you look into mental health help at all?" Well, no, I ain't looking into that. Well, what the hell are
Yeah.
you? You're supposed to throw the issue away. You're supposed to be doing something about the thing holding you back from believing in yourself as much as you can. So, have you ever had a point where, for whatever reason, you didn't believe in yourself that you had to actually do something about
Yeah. And honestly, I think we all have in some way, especially with fitness. When we're not where we want to be, we have a lot of fear. We have
it?
a lot of doubt. We have a lot of judgment, insecurities that overcome us. And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, the best thing about getting fit is not always for an ideal partner or
Right.
for how you feel when you go out in public, but it's how you feel inside, the embodiment of the confidence that you have when you walk into the room. You almost feel like there's a string pulling your chest up, and you just feel a little more comfortable with who you are. And
Right.
here's a great example. A lot of our clients in the beginning, it's hard to have the motivation, the
Mm-hmm.
oomph to actually begin, right? Because they're at the lowest point. But sometimes, and a lot of times, them just beginning to eat healthier and beginning to exercise, they begin to feel the difference without even being where they want to be at.
Right.
They notice, hey, I went to dinner with a few friends or my family last night, and for some reason, I was a little more talkative.
Right.
I sat in the middle of the group, whereas usually I sit on the end to try and stay out of the conversation. And they notice just by getting the blood moving from a few more walks or eating a few more healthy foods than they usually have, they start to kind of feel the difference before they notice the physical changes. And that's an amazing start to creating that snowball effect, to feeling like you're worth it.
Right. I think Nana made a good point, and this is something I hear all the time. She said, "I would delay traveling, dating, everything.
Oh,
My life
yeah.
is an ideal for me." And
Mm,
my question, and I always ask this question to my clients because I actually have trained intermittently throughout the last 15 years as well, but I'm
okay.
not an expert like you. Um,
Yeah.
my question to my clients when I've taken them, and just my clients as far as dating, relationship, life coaching, is what's more challenging, what's more harsh on you, not liking who you are for 15, 20 years, 2, 3, 4 years, however long you're overweight, even lifetime. Some people are overweight their whole life or out of shape in the way that they would see it as out of shape their whole life. What's more traumatic, being out of shape, not liking yourself for that long, or taking 4, 5, 6 months and just committing to your goal of being in a better place physically? Which of those are more traumatic? I would imagine staying out of shape for years and then doubting yourself every time you met a man for many years, or you did a job interview for many years, or you met a new person.
Wow.
That's mental trauma that you give yourself. It's not even it's literally like indefinite trauma. I'm gonna give you an example. I love one of my family members, but one of my family members has been trying to lose the same 40 pounds since I was 7 years old. Seven. Right? I'm 36. I just turned 36. Since
Hmm.
I was 7. And every time I see them, they're like, "Hey, I'm losing. You see me losing? Do we got to do this?"
Yeah.
If you commit to your goal, you would have lost. Like, we would have been gone. You would have already had a new thing to conquer, right? And so you want to be sensitive to that need. But how do you handle clients? How do you handle people who have a difficulty in staying committed to that goal? Like, how does Instashred keep people kind of in the loop and like on structure to making their goal? What type of tools are in Instashred to help people kind of make their goals? Because that's what people need, structure.
Yeah. And that's an interesting question, and it'll be fun to answer it. So, As with anything, anything worthwhile requires a bit of work, right? It's an unsexy answer, but we make the process as seamless as possible and as enjoyable as possible. But at the end of the day, you're going to have to do a little something that you're currently not doing. And
Right.
so, what I like to share with our clients and our potential clients is that, hey, everyone suffers, but there's two types of suffering. Okay. There's voluntary suffering and there's involuntary suffering. So, voluntary suffering is you going through those 4 to 6 months, as you mentioned, Kevin, possibly for your family member, to
Mhm.
go through a little bit of pain to lose those 40 pounds. Even if you get halfway there, you're going to be happy with 20 pounds, but you had to do something that you weren't willing to do before. That's voluntary suffering to get to a point where you're more satisfied with where you're at, right? But if we
100%.
choose not to do that work, we're involuntarily suffering for months to years with
Mhm.
feeling like total crap as to
Mhm.
where we're at. So either way, we're going to suffer. It's just up to us to choose how we're going to suffer. Are you going to do the
Struggle.
hard work to get to where you want to go, or are you going to suffer for longer than necessary because you're not willing to eat a little healthier or do a little bit of exercise?
Mhm. And the same thing goes for people. I meet a lot of people who would love coaching but can't afford coaching. I get it.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing with our finances, right? We suffer and save? Do we suffer and invest? Do we suffer and do the financially responsible thing? Do we get a financial education? Do we practice good financial stewardship and ultimately get to where we want to be, to where we're stable and we don't need to worry about resources? Or do we continue to do the same thing and live our whole lives poor, broke, and really hopeless as to getting the help because we can't afford any of the avenues that are presented to a person in our position, right? Whether that you need a car, you need a house, you need this, you need that. You have to change your habit to change your life. Period. Right. And that's why I'm always talking about mental health. That's why I've done so many videos that touch on confidence and fitness, because it's about what you change, the decision you make to commit to your goal despite the discomfort. Right. And so
Yeah.
you bring up a good point. So, like, how would Instashred help people who want to start this and who feel like they can commit to it? How does Instashred help a person like that? Tell us a little bit more
Yeah.
about the platform, just in
Yeah.
general.
Quick heads up. I think your fan to cool you off might be blowing in your microphone a little bit.
I'm over here now. I put it right next to
There
my
we go. Much better. Much better.
face.
Yeah, Instashred helps in the way that, not everyone wants to be a competitive bodybuilder. Not everyone wants to work and pump weights for 2 hours in the gym. We give people a sustainable, flexible option that doesn't have to alter your lifestyle. Like, we want to offer a cheap solution that people can actually get started with and enjoy. And they don't have to completely alter their week and say, oh, okay, I got to get up an hour earlier to go to the gym, or I've got to fit. Like, there's really no deviation from one's lifestyle. We all have these crazy lives. I think everyone here can attest to living a busy lifestyle, right? We're all
Yeah,
busy. Am I right?
yeah. I'm
And
busy.
so, yeah, getting rid of that I don't have time excuse and I don't have the money excuse was our goal. And we've taken 4 years to do that, offer a cheap, effective solution to give everyone a way to get where they want to go in the
Yeah.
most enjoyable way. And I'm happy to say we've done that. And it's really, really cool to see people of all walks of life join the Instashred program and begin to take those first steps to getting where they want to go and feeling better along the way.
I believe that. I think you know, my thing is I've always tried to get people to see what they could change in themselves to change the result, to change even their experience with other people, how people feel about them. A lot of times that comes with a tag. I'm called a victim blamer a good amount. I've been called insensitive a lot of times, but
Mm,
overall, I believe I'm known as a diplomat. I think that comes through, but people are very sensitive to the limitations that they place on themselves.
mm,
Sometimes people are more committed to their limitation than they are their goal, and that as a fit,
wow.
I'm sure you see that quite often. Talk
Yeah.
a little bit about how you've helped people, or what you've encouraged people to do, despite that nature of human beings to be more committed to their limitation than their goal.
Yeah, I think it begins with individuals taking ownership It's very easy to point the finger or place blame outside of ourselves. As for yourself, since I've known you, you've been a very kind-hearted, charismatic person, and you always mean well by others. But some people will get offended, as influencers and being able to put ourselves out there the way we do, Kevin, there's going to be some people that don't like us or they don't like our style. And I think for a lot of individuals, they have to almost look at themselves and take ownership for the excuses and the reasons as to why they're blaming the reason as to why they're where they're at.
Mhm.
And when you can get a person to look inside and understand, hey, maybe there are some things that I've done to stay where I'm at. And inside I'm miserable and I'm mad at some people in my life and I snap on my significant other and I mess up some dates because of my own internal struggles. And you got to be careful how we go about it because everyone is has some vulnerabilities, right? But I really like to get to the core of why people feel the way they do.
Mhm.
You know,
I
uh,
okay,
go
go ahead.
ahead.
I'm just saying,
No.
I have a few clients like that who have different vulnerabilities and different sensitivities, but also different
Oh,
limitations. And so, what I like is to provide an avenue. Like I said, I'm just a results and a solution centered person. Like if I'm in an
mhm,
argument, the argument is for the solution. What is this?
mhm.
I'm not
Well
just
said.
here to bicker with you. What is the solution, right? If I'm coaching someone, I want to give them applicable, and anybody in the comment section who's been on the phone with me can attest to this. I give you something to apply. You got homework when you get off the phone with me. I need you to do this, this, and this. These are the takeaways. If you do these things, you can potentially get this result. You damn sure ain't gonna get the result you just got because that was completely wrong. How do you handle people who are in that place where they can be motivated but they can't be committed? Like, is that a thing that, as a fitness trainer, you get it almost even worse than I get it, because in the moment that you're training someone, if they're on a machine and they don't want to be there, you get hostility, right? How
Yeah.
is it a thing that you've kind of overcome, and how has even having an app like Instashred kind of tempered that and maybe filtered those results from people that maybe were not as committed to getting toward the people who were really committed and who were going to really work toward their goals?
Yeah. I think commitment comes from a really deep why. And I think everyone has one, but some people aren't using it as enough fuel. They're kind of just looking at the the small picture as far
Mhm.
as, I really want to look like my friend Christina. But it's not a compelling enough reason to go through the amount of work that you're going to have to get there. And so sometimes you've got to really come to your own senses or have an individual help you. Talk to someone who can really have a meaningful conversation with you and you're willing to open up. What I'll realize for a lot of women specifically is it's not so much how they feel about themselves, but if they are in a relationship, they fear the way their significant other looks at them. You
Mhm.
know, he he doesn't look at me the way that I would hope. You know,
Mhm.
he my significant other doesn't come on to me more than once a month. And those thoughts really begin to put blame on ourselves. I'm not attractive. When I step out of the shower, he doesn't look at me like, "Damn, you're sexy." He just kind of glances right across me, and it makes me question myself as to, am I attractive? Do I
Right.
turn him on? Am I sexy?
I
And
think
so, go ahead.
no, no. I think you're onto something. But I want to be clear to get this point.
Sure.
Your best and the best are two different things. And too
Mhm.
often, when I meet people who have a goal, whether it's mental health, better relationships, more money, or weight loss or weight gain for some people, they are looking at the best, and they
Mm.
count and disregard their own best, right? And because the best feels so far away from what we are, we don't actually strive to be our best. And that's the biggest issue that I see, is that
Yeah.
that separation between the best and our best. Sometimes when a man is dating a woman and he wants her to lose weight, he's not looking for the best. He wants your best. He doesn't want those
Ooh,
things from anybody. He wants your best. So
that's
when men
good,
are
Karen.
making these requests, it can feel a little, cold. It can feel, like pressure. But if a man is warning you about this, it's because he's trying to protect the relationship. He's not trying to destroy it sometimes. And I think if we're honest with ourselves about whatever limitations we have in temperament and behavior and mental health and finances and habit, pattern, practice, whatever, when a person presents, some critical idea of us, we still have to figure out. We have to sit with that and figure out if it's real and what to do
Ooh,
if it's real. And
it's
I think
great.
I think for women and fitness specifically, I've been doing profile evaluations lately, and I've been seeing a lot of women who um, are not necessarily in very good shape, but they have these other gifts. They have these other things that they offer a relationship. But on the internet, you're just competing profile pictures. You're literally one of thousands of profile pictures, right? So presentation is everything on the internet in a different way than it is in person. In a person, a man can
Yeah.
look past a woman, see what she has to offer in energy, see how she walks, see how she carries herself, see how she speaks to people, and he can be impressed by her because he sees the human being. Online, you're not a human being. You're a profile picture, or you're a gang of profile pictures,
Wow.
right?
Wow.
And so when I'm doing these profile evaluations, what I'm seeing is a lot of women who don't actually present themselves well on profiles and or they're not at their best shape, right? And they're trying to compete with women who are in their best shape, right? And this is
Uh-huh.
individual. And then they're like, well, why aren't I getting DMs? And it's always a tender subject. Because how do I tell a person, hey, you have to get yourself together, and really with love I say that. A lot of people don't want to hear that, and unfortunately enough it's the truth, because if you're not confident and if you don't like it about you, then why is someone else going to like it about you? How do you do
Mm,
your best if you don't like these things about you and require someone else to like it about you? You
yeah.
got you got a mouth that causes a lot of trouble and gets you in a lot of trouble. You think a man is supposed to accept that, but you don't even accept it. It steals away from your
Wow.
confidence daily, right?
Wow.
Your people skills steal away from your confidence daily, right? Your mental health still steals away from your confidence daily. I have a couple guy client, broke as a joke, won't get off their ass, won't do nothing, smoke weed every day, wake and bake, and then they complain about women not liking them, not wanting them, not staying. And I'm like, man, who wants to stay? You're a scrub. You a pookie. You got to figure this thing out. You got to do something that someone can be impressed by. And in the same way, the idea of criticism is again more feared than the idea of sitting in our mess and
Yeah.
really sitting in our shit. And I feel like it's just super important. No matter what you watch me for, if you're single, married, dating, divorced, widowed, whatever you are into, uh, go find somebody on YouTube in any niche that serves your limitation and attack your limitation. Like
Yeah.
attack your limitation like the enemy. And I like any app, any idea, any product or service that helps us attack our inadequacies and our limitations. And so that's why I really appreciate you for Instashred and how much you stuffed into how much value you stuffed into Instashred. Because when I seen it, for me, I was like, damn, a lot of people could use this. You've mapped out meals, you've helped with the schedule, you've set a calendar. There's a lot of stuff in there that really does it all for you. All you got to do is just show up for yourself. And unfortunately enough, that's the biggest issue. And I don't think that can be done for anybody. But, in the comment section, anybody in here have a fitness goal to actually show up, and I'll challenge you, and you actually believe you're going to do it this year? Say yes if you think you're actually going to keep your fitness goal or your
Woo.
health goal or your cigarettes goal or your alcohol goal or your
Woo.
drugs goal or your relationship goal, whatever your New Year's resolution is. How many people can actually type yes? I think I know I can do it. I will do
Wow.
it. It's hard, bro. It's super hard because that's commitment. You're not going to feel like it tomorrow. You're not going to be motivated. You're not going to be inspired. Somebody's going
Yep.
to step on your toe. The dog's going to shit on the carpet. Somebody's going to hit your car. It's going to be some dumb stuff going on, but you still have to be committed to that goal. And so, as a dating coach, a life coach, relationship coach, it's important to me uh, to get that point across because I like having my audience chock full of people who are about the work
Yeah.
because you don't get anywhere without the work. Um, Tyler, in dating, in your experience, have you ever seen or because I want to make this point and I'm gonna let him answer the question because I'm like, let him answer the question. He's cute. Have you ever tried to date a woman who didn't believe in herself or whatever inadequacy she had? Have you ever even accepted like when you were dating a woman who didn't believe in herself and had a lot of inadequacies and then kind of projected them? How has your experience in dating with people who didn't believe in themselves turned out? Like,
Yeah.
what did you think about those people?
Yeah. I think for me personally, and this is me personally, I think at a time when I was dating a few individuals that didn't have a lot of confidence in themselves and doubted themselves, I was at a vulnerable place where I wasn't fully confident in who I was either. So I
Mhm.
was willing to accept them
Right.
because I was in the same spot. And honestly, it brought the relationship closer because we both shared those insecurities. So I think to really become a better version of myself, I had to finally find someone who was bold enough and strong enough to accept themselves for who they are, no matter where they're at, regardless of what they wanted to accomplish or how they wanted to change who they were. They were willing to accept themselves enough for who they were that I was inspired by it. And my
Right.
insecurities slowly began to unravel because I was moving up to their level.
Right.
So I have been there and dated some women with some insecurities, but as I said, I was there myself.
So you said something very vulnerable and very very good there. I like the idea that while you can admit to your own vulnerabilities, most strangers on the internet aren't in that place, right?
Wow. Yeah.
We're trying to find this prepackaged perfect person online, right? And if I'm on your dating profile, you're competing with all the profile pictures. All I see is the prepackaging, right?
Mm.
I can't assume. Just like and I told somebody recently, just like if you're an HR rep and you're trying to hire people, you're a hiring manager, and you're looking at applications and you're looking at resumes, you can't assume anything that isn't put in that resume. When a man goes and looks at your dating profile, he cannot assume skills, he cannot assume humanity, he cannot assume characters, traits, qualities, habits, patterns, practices, desirable or not, that aren't put in that profile, right? So when we talk about like why aren't people selecting me or why aren't these guys taking me on second dates and third dates or why aren't I getting to a date specifically, it's because men can assume the great things about you. You have to present yourself, and
Wow.
then they give themselves the opportunity, right? Tyler, being in a vulnerable position at that point, was willing to give people the opportunity because he just had introspective ability that most people don't have as young men. He was gifted, right? I can say the same
Thank you.
experience and not to kiss my own ass, I'm decently gifted too. But most people online, you're a stranger. They don't have a reason to love you despite your flaws. They don't have a reason to love you through your mess. They don't have a reason to love you despite your inadequacies or your commitment to them. They don't have a reason to accept your shit, right? Just like you don't want to do it, but you love you or you're developing love for you or you're hoping to have love for you at some point, right? You're
Wow.
you. You accept you to some degree, and if you don't, you need to go to better help, and we can talk about that. But when a person doesn't know you, when you're dating, when a guy just walks past you, when you're online, these people can't assume these great things of you. All they can do is look at the vibe, the energy, and the pictures in the profile. You're not presenting your best, and you know it. You accept.
Yeah.
I've watched my clients accept DMs from Dusties, bro. Like DMs from the types of guys that would look dirty next to people who were like in a construction zone. Like
Ooh.
I watched women lower their standards to such a degree just because they didn't like how they looked or they didn't like their hair or they had this inadequacy. And so my crusade against, just getting into against having this physical inadequacy, in particular the fitness one, is that because I know how harsh the impact is of not believing in yourself physically and not having confidence in how your body looks and how your face looks and just believing in yourself in that way, I know how harsh that can be, and I know how harsh the decisions made subsequent to that belief are. Women are getting cheated on, women are getting
Mm.
mistreated, women are getting talked down to, women are getting abused, beaten, mishandled in all these different types of ways because they think they don't deserve better, right? And physical fitness is just one of those things that a woman looks in the mirror and says, "Mm, whatever, nobody's gonna want me." And then I've watched women date like narcissistic abusers who beat her up, tell her this or tell her that, and say, "Well, nobody's gonna want you. Look at you,
Mm.
man. Listen, you got to do something. You got to do something to put yourself in a position to where you like what you see in the mirror. That might be some shadow work. That might be some mental health work. That might be some gym work. But you got to do the work so that you feel more competent. You feel more capable of being with the person you want to be, the type of person you want to be, calling the energies to your life that you want. Like you can't have what you desire or what you dream of if you don't feel like it fits you, if you don't feel like you deserve it. And so that's why we're talking about fitness. That's why I keep bringing up mental health. That's why it seems as sometimes I'm victim blaming. It's because if you don't do the work, the shit you accept, the relationships you accept, the treatment that you accept. I've been on the phone with, I don't know, I've coached, oh, I've coached many thousands of women at this point. Stop counting after 4,000. I've coached a lot of women. And I've had this conversation about fitness so many times that I figured, I'd have you on here and tell them that there is stuff available outside of YouTube. There are apps that help it become more personal and, help you track things, help you set your own goals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mental health things that help you and bring mental health experts to you while you sit on your couch in your living room instead of going to the doctor. There are people who send a STD test right to your house if that's your issue, right? We got to start doing the work and just being better. And so that's my whole point about this. And if you want to tell them a little bit more about Instashred, be my guest. But that's one methodology to one issue, and there are many that I'm going to present this year, and I continue to present this year because I think that change is the power that we're all looking for, and we don't get
Oh,
that work.
dude, thank you so much for having me on. You are an inspiration.
I
No,
appreciate
you really are good at what you do, man, and you do it in such a calm, warming way. You don't offend people. You're just you're very blunt, but you're honest. And I think people really take what you say into consideration because of the way you go about it. So I appreciate you in that.
well,
Um, but yeah, for anyone that's on here that their primary goal, whether it's for the New Year's or it's been a goal for a long time, you just haven't made it a priority when it comes to your fitness, InstaShred is a great option because it's first off cheap. It's $59. The program is $59 for everything you need to get where you're looking to go. We don't skimp on anything. We don't have a monthly fee you have to pay. It's as cheap as it possibly can to give you as much value as possible. And it's catered specifically to you. It's really, really an amazing tool to feel and look your best. And we also share a lot of valuable content over on the InstaShred YouTube page, a lot of free value. So you don't have to buy anything to get that spark, that inspiration to get to where you want to go with your physical health. So
that one-time fee is important because most things are subscription based right now.
yeah.
The financial guru guys have spoken, and subscriptions are king right now. So it's actually nice to just be able to throw $59 at something and then go on about my damn business, man, and not have to
Yeah.
keep back and keep getting sucked dry a little bit. And every change right now, if it's not a subscription and it's a one time, all they have to say is one time payment, and I'll be like, what? One time, like, and I
Yeah.
yeah, man, thank you for coming on. And if you're interested in InstaShred, if you have a fitness goal and you want just a little bit extra, the app itself and the service can really help you. And again, it's a one-time fee. It's $59. That's it. We've paid for less important, less impactful, less helpful changes lives. People have money for important, and they got money for their hair, they got money for their nails. The guys got money for rims and weed. Get your money and get something done about your inadequacy, whatever it might be. Whether that's your mental health helping you need to go to better health, whether that's your fitness stuff and you need to go to Instashred, whatever it is, if you need dating coaching, if for whatever reason you keep finding the same type of guys, responding to the same type of guys, and you're tired of the same cyclical heartbreak over and over again, go to girltalkwithguys.com. Get yourself a dating coach. I'm available and I'll help you change your trajectory. And that's what it's about. So the link to Instashred in the description box. It's also the last post on my YouTube community page, or maybe the second to last post. So if you're interested in, and you have a fitness goal for this year, check out Instashred. It's only 59 bucks one time. Not sure why you wouldn't do it. It's a very valuable system and platform, and it really maps out how to get fit without you needing to know a bunch of shit or go on YouTube and watch 1,000 videos.
You said it right.
Yeah, so I think you got fitness guru in your pocket instead of, because YouTube is wonderful, but man, it's a rabbit hole, dude. I watch YouTube when I was doing fitness, man. I
Mm.
I watch probably 5 hours of YouTube a day because one video leads to another, and it's like I ain't even been to the gym yet.
Been there, man. Been there.
Doing. I don't know what my meals are. I have no calendar. I don't know how to count these calories. I didn't have any of the tools. I just had a bunch of YouTube videos, and I'm trying to write everything down and remember. I got a big ass notebook in my pocket sticking out at the gym.
True.
It's just
Yeah,
really a
man.
wonderful thing to compartmentalize your fitness goals and also allow you to have some kind of digital accountability. So check out Instashred if you're interested. It's in the description box. I also posted on my community YouTube page. Check out BetterHelp. As in any other numerous videos, I've talked about BetterHelp and getting your mental health in order. Thanks for coming on, Tyler. I appreciate y'all. Also, this year, I'll continue doing YouTube for now. This year, I'm looking forward to hopefully doing more videos, especially for the Kev Hick's financial Kev Hick. My name is Kev Hick. People call me Kev Hicks. Now I'm starting to call myself Kev Hicks. The Kev Hick Financial Education Channel. I've
Great
actually,
channel.
I
Love it so far.
and also because I wanted to actually have some financial expertise for the Kevhick Financial Education Channel, I've got into the insurance industry, right? So I'm about to get state tested so that I can apply some knowledge of financial products so that I can have a thing that I offer as well in that realm, just so that there, because I haven't met a lot of people who have the charisma to talk about insurance. Uh, but I think I can get the job done. And but I'm also very passionate about that. I've had a policy myself, so there's a lot of things that I know about the insurance agency or the insurance industry. I'm sorry, that I want to share that I've always been passionate about. And so I'm actually going through an educational program and educating myself so I can officially be certified to talk about insurance and talk about it knowledge. And so that's what I'll offer. That's my KFX financial education sacrifice, which is a portion of the reason why we haven't done a lot of videos yet. It's because I want to actually become a financial expert of at least one thing so that I can have some expertise to give people and be able to help people in that way. But like I said, we're going to be doing a lot this year. I really appreciate everybody who's joined us for this live and didn't just click off because I had a guest. Because Tyler, I'm gonna be honest, man, you must be handsome to these beautiful people because a lot of them will just click off as soon as they see a guest. I had a guest one time,
Uh,
80 people came in, and the brother wasn't the most aesthetically pleasing. I'm guessing because it was like it dropped to like 13 and then it hovered around 27. So
oh, jeez. Stop it. Those aren't the comments I've been paying attention to. I've been looking at the fitness ones.
yeah, you're a superstar. You're a winner. We're gonna keep you out here. We're gonna make you some
Mhm.
learn some more things, man. But hey, I appreciate you joining me, bro. Thank you for everybody for joining us and not hanging up. I'm gonna get with y'all later. Have a nice day. I don't know how to end this thing with a guest. Bye, Tyler. I
All
guess
right, man. See ya.
Bye.
Thanks again.